Welcome back to Northwest City Politics in the Know with Juanita. We're glad you're joining our show again this week. We're always happy for people like you, people that are really interested in what's happening in our cities. Because it is important for good government that there be an interchange of ideas between the city council, the mayors, the staff, and the residents of the city. So we're glad that you're updating yourself on what's happening in one of the 9 cities in CCX's viewing area. Each week we'll have someone on from the city to kind of update us on what's been happening and what's going to be happening in the future. And we encourage you, if it's your city, take down their phone and email information, and if a subject comes up that really is of interest to you, be in contact. Now tonight we're very happy to welcome Mayor Shep Harris, an ongoing guest that we've got, right?
That's right.
Now I want to have you introduce yourself to our wider audience. Golden Valley's going to know you, but other cities might not. Tell them a little bit about yourself and your time in Golden Valley.
All right, thank you. Well, as Juanita said, my name is Shep Harris, and I'm the mayor of Golden Valley. And I've lived in the city with my family for the past 13 years. And speaking of family, so my wife, 3 children, and in fact my oldest is finishing up her freshman year at Armstrong High School tomorrow, right? And my 2 boys are at the Highlander Minneapolis Jewish Day School in St. Louis Park, and when they're through 8th grade, then they'll go to Armstrong High School. So we're a Robbinsdale School District family. Right. I thought you'd like that.
Yeah, very good.
And just very involved in the community in a number of activities. Some of it's because of the kids, some of it's because of being mayor. But on any given day, I could be at a Twin West Chamber event. I could be at a Golden Valley Rotary lunch. I could be I'm a member of the League of Women Voters and the Golden Valley Historical Society. So lots of activities happening there. But with the kids, it's either Golden Valley Girls Softball or it's Golden Valley Little League. I'll drag them sometimes to the Chesterfield American Legion because I'm a son of the American Legion. And then there's also the Quad Communities Beyond the Yellow Ribbon, which is for Golden Valley and Robbinsdale and Crystal and New Hope. So in fact, we had a very lovely Memorial Day event in Robbinsdale just recently. So always running around. Sometimes I feel like I'm Uber for my kids, but or just love to get out and be very active in the community.
Now, going on to some of the topics that we talked about ahead of time, one of the areas where you have lots of things going on is in the area of development, redevelopment in Golden Valley. And I've got a whole long list where I thought we'll just let you update us on what's going to happen there and where you're at in the process. Now, first, at Central Park West, a Marriott Hotel is going to go in. Where exactly is that located?
Well, the best way to describe it is if you're driving south on Highway 100 and you're crossing over 394, it will be to your right. In fact, I think there's kind of a building race going on in terms of what's going to get done first. But you have the Marriott Hotel there, so it's technically the southeast corner of Highway 394 and Highway 100. And I have to look at my sheet here because you're right, we've got so many things going on. I have to double check here. So we have, so it's going to be a 126-room hotel.
Good size.
It is a good size, and from what I understand, they're trying to build it in time for the Super Bowl. So it's going up pretty quickly. It'll be interesting to see how much they charge as well for those rooms, since it's just literally minutes from downtown Minneapolis.
Yeah, very conveniently located. And so they hope to have it done by maybe December?
Yeah, by the end of the year, because they've got to work out all.
As you move into the Super Bowl season, right?
That is right. That is right. In fact, I know across the highway and down a little bit, down 394, the Ramada Inn, which is in Golden Valley as well. I heard kind of just through the grapevine, they were charging $500 per room for the Super Bowl. So who knows what the Marriott's going to be like?
All right, then also at Central Park West, there's a residential phase, and the phase 1, so in the same general area, right? What's going to be happening?
Okay, so that is That building is actually almost complete.
Oh, okay.
As you're driving in the same direction, heading south, the hotel is starting to come up. The framing is done, and now I think they're starting to slowly get some of the maybe lower level walls up.
Yeah.
And directly south of that is the apartments for the Central Park West area. And we're looking at a 199 unit apartments or apartment building. Now what's interesting is that about 60% of that is actually in St. Louis Park.
Right.
And about 40% is in Golden Valley. So, so technically we have 80 units in Golden Valley. And so it took some time to work that out with the developer and with the City of Golden Valley staff and the staff from the City of St. Louis Park before they even brought it to the city councils to approve. Because we had to figure out fire code, we had to figure out property maintenance code, and just how are we going to make sure that people are not confused about which city they're in.
Since it's
in that
the same building.
Exactly, exactly. So that is set to be done by the end of the year as well.
Yeah, because all of these are items that are under construction that we're going over tonight.
That is correct.
Then you have another unit, and you can see it if you're on 55 and 169, because there's a big hello sign.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So
hello,
tell us about that.
That's what it's called, hello. And I remember asking the developer specifically at a city council meeting. I said, "Why hello?"
Right.
And they said, "Well, it's just different.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to catch maybe the new millennials coming up. Who knows? But it's an upscale apartment complex. You can see it's got different tones, different colors to it.
Oh yeah, it does.
They are. In fact, I'm going to look at my sheet here one more time just to make sure I've got the right. Yep, 172 units. And it has underground parking. It has a deck with a pool, and it's partially already open. And that includes the 6th floor observation deck that looks toward downtown, looks east down Highway 55. So it's interesting to see as these apartments are being built, how they're trying to put in a lot of amenities that will attract people to that location. So it's partially occupied right now and should be fully occupied before the end of the year.
And that one ran into a little trouble with the kind of wood, and you had to work your way through it, right?
Correct, correct. It was a subcontractor in terms of, and I can't remember all the details, but basically there was some wood that had to be taken out, some of the framing, and then put back up, but all is good now.
Now it's all moving full speed ahead.
Correct.
And people are moving in, right?
People are moving in, yeah.
And then at Laurel Ponds, there's a number of townhouses, and maybe you can tell people where Laurel Ponds is.
Right. I'd say landmark-wise, probably the best thing to tell people would be it's on Laurel Avenue, west of where Liberty Carton and Benihana is. So that's right off of the Louisiana exit of Highway 394. So it's behind those facilities in the neighborhood, right behind there along Laurel Avenue. And this is a former kind of office building site that's been converted into housing. And the whole goal is to diversify our housing stock. So Golden Valley is known as a bedroom community, lots of single family homes. And as we've been discussing, there's a number of apartments that are going up.
Oh, yes.
But in this case, the detached townhome units, 24 in all, that will add a different type of mix to our housing stock. So they're moving along slowly but surely, and I think we've got 5 up now, and there are already other the staff is already reviewing other permit applications. So there's more to come. And
so when do they hope to have it completed by?
It really depends on the market. Right. I mean, the 5, I'm trying to remember, I'd say the 5 that are up now have probably taken about a year plus to get up. And I think different developers own different rows of that area. So it really does depend. They really are trying to make these custom built. So I think it's really going to depend on the marketplace. But my hope is that this will be done within the next year or two.
Right, right. And then you have, I don't know if I'll pronounce it right, Tallow, okay. Tallow Apartments, another one. So where are these going to be?
So that is, and I was talking about that construction race before. So on the south side of 394, you have the Marriott Hotel and the other Central Park West apartments. On the north side of 394 is where Tallow is.
Okay.
So again, another landmark for reference points would be right next to the Good Day Cafe.
Oh, right, right.
And so this is the northwest corner of 394 and Highway 100. And that is a 303 unit apartment complex. And that's phase 1.
Okay.
And that's what you see going up right now.
Right.
And that's going up pretty quickly.
Oh, 300 units.
Yeah, yeah. I've been pretty impressed about the speed at which they're going. That's phase 1. Phase 2, ideally, and this could still change.
Okay.
But the idea is there will be a space between the Tallow apartments and Good Day Cafe, and in between that space will go a senior housing unit, or 125 units for senior housing.
Oh, right.
So again, you know, it's going to be top notch. These people are going to have outstanding views of downtown.
Oh,
so I have a feeling there's not going to be any problems with the view of going downtown. And they're already advertising that they've got a resort-style lazy river type of pool. So, so
something different.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. As time goes by, different things attract people to units.
Yep. Exactly.
So you need to be kind of on the cutting edge, right?
And yeah, it's been fascinating to watch how they're marketing to the to newcomers.
Right.
Looking for apartments. Yep.
And then you've got Liberty is a big project, more than, maybe I'll let you explain.
Sure.
And where it is to start with.
Right, and I appreciate this because, I mean, this redevelopment, we really are on the move, and so a lot of these apartments are on the periphery of the city. Right. So we're not really changing the neighborhoods, and this is another example. And so the Liberty is kind of the north central part of the city. It's on, not exactly on the corner, but right near the corner of where Winnetka Avenue and Medicine Lake Road cross paths. And so don't worry, folks out there, we're not moving the Dairy Queen. Relax, we're okay with the Dairy Queen. The Dairy Queen is going to stay. That's a fixture, that's not moving. But right next to that, where the VFW used to be. Right. And on the Winnetka Avenue side, there used to be the CIFCO, which is kind of like a manufacturing facility, and there was an Asian restaurant. Behind all that, there was a car wash, so that whole area has been drastically transformed. Definitely. And so what you have going up right now is 187 units, apartment complex, and you also have 55 townhomes that are being built at the same time. And I believe what the developer is also trying to do is make sure that the townhomes have solar panels on them, so there'll be some renewable energy possibilities. There's going to be kind of a community building for people to gather. There's also going to be a small swimming pool there for people, again, to come together and have social functions. So again, what we're hearing from people is diversify the housing stock. So people who want to downsize from those homes can either go to the apartment, and if they don't want the apartment, well, then they can go to the townhome. And
now that's the area too that a side benefit is you're working with past flooding problems.
That's right. Thank you. Yep, exactly. And that area has been a flood challenge, a flooding challenge, not just for Golden Valley, but for people who are in New Hope, who live in that area, or in Crystal, or just people trying to drive through. Emergency vehicles trying to get through. Sometimes we get these quick downpours.
Oh yeah, these heavy rains.
Exactly. So we do have a private-public partnership going on with this developer. So we are building underground basically some flood cavities that will fill up and slowly then drain to our ponding system that's nearby in a neighborhood. So, and I should say the reason why it's called the Liberty is kind of an ode to the VFW and to our veterans who spent many years, and there's many memories to all the good things that happened there at the VFW. So that's why this whole facility is being called the Liberty.
Yeah, lots of changes happening. If you drive down Winnetka, you can see it,
Oh yeah, it's exciting.
And then the last one I've got listed is Cornerstone Creek.
Yeah, Cornerstone Creek, we're thrilled. That one is done, it's open. It's filling up very quickly. It's very unique in the sense that it is, it's a 45-unit facility. It's affordable housing. It is for low-income adults who have developmental disabilities. And this is very unique. This is, there's a significant push to try to help integrate people with disabilities into the community.
Right.
So moving away from these large facilities where people with disabilities are isolated.
Right.
And so this is a little different. This is it is a large facility, but in a way, it's the purpose is to try to create integration into the greater community. In fact, the other night at our first Music in the Park series, I saw actually a number of people from Cornerstone Creek who wanted to go out and participate and be a part of the community. And I think every Wednesday night they go down the street to Culver's for custard. So it's filled to capacity, and they had their grand opening in April. It's a beautiful place. Highly recommend.
Where is it located?
Yeah.
I mean, I know.
Thank
but
you.
People
Thank
out
you
there
for
might
saying
not.
that. Yeah. So it's Golden Valley Road. It's right across the street from National Camera Exchange. So everyone knows. So this is across the street from the Hello.
Right.
And from National Camera Exchange. So right near 169 and Highway 55. So thank you.
Right. Now another project that's a big one that's moving along, getting closer to done, is you're updating your Brookview Community Center.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a replacement thing, right? So tell us a little bit about the history leading up to that, too.
Oh, gosh. So you talk about history. I mean, this building, the original part of the building is, you know, if we wanted to wait another 6 months, 6 months to a year, we could celebrate the century mark.
Right.
I mean, there are parts of the building, the original building, that are almost 100 years old.
So you've gotten good use out of it.
Yes, it has gotten decades, but yeah, but you know, it's you go into the basement level, and I'm not a tall guy, but even I have to bend over in the basement, make sure you don't hit the run into the literally shellacked tree trunks that are holding up
the building.
That are holding up the first floor, right? Wow. Yeah. So hopefully we'll with our historical society, maybe we'll figure something out. We can preserve those tree trunks. But this building has gotten a number of band-aids, if you will, over the decades. Last time there was significant work done was back in the 1980s, and that was only supposed to last about 10 years. That was supposed to last to the mid-90s. Well,
and here we are.
And here we are in 2017. So we've had significant conversations going back 3 years.
Okay.
We've had a task force looking at different locations. We've had a task force looking at different models, what goes in, what doesn't go in, open houses, online surveys. We had our community survey done several years back, asking what people wanted in the facility and also what they felt they could afford, which was very important.
Oh, yes.
Right. So a lot of that is, there's a lot of work, and definitely credit goes to our city council, to our residents, to our city staff, for putting together what is shaping up to be a really fantastic, exciting facility. So you're probably going to ask, like, when's the opening?
Well, no, I'm going to have you tell us what's the status of construction first. What's happening on that? Then we'll move on.
Okay. So right now, I mean, the walls are up. A lot of the foundation has been poured. You know, you've got the utilities have been put in. And I mean, if you just drive over there right now, it's hard to see, but a lot of work is going on the interior. The exterior walls are starting to shape up, and it's been designed because Golden Valley, the majority of Golden Valley's homes have that mid-century modern look from the 50s and 60s. So that's what the building is going to shape up into. That's where it's at right now. It's starting to take that kind of Frank Lloyd Wright type of shape. You know, I don't know if it'll look like Frank Lloyd Wright's type of work, but
from that era.
From that era, exactly. So that's where we're at right now.
Now, the old building is going to come down, and when will that happen?
That's a great question. It was we've changed some plans lately, so I appreciate the question. We are going to start vacating the current community center in September, and that building is scheduled to come down in October, because they are literally, the new building and the old building
are both there,
are literally right next to each other, and we cannot, you know, sometimes people say, well, you know, government looks the other way, you know, when they don't hold themselves to the same standards as we hold everybody else. Well, in this case, we are.
Right.
And so there is a stairwell or a stairway, welcoming stairway to a veranda onto the upper level of the community center that cannot be built until the current community center is demolished. And until that stairway is built, we cannot issue ourselves a certificate of occupancy.
Right, right.
So we're going to have a knockdown party in October.
Okay.
And then we'll get that stairwell built, and then we'll be ready to go by December 1st.
So the grand opening will be in December.
We're looking for December, that's right. Just in time when it's finally getting really cold.
Right.
And those kids want to get inside, and the parents want to get the kids inside for a little indoor play.
Right.
And that's one of our signature amenities over there, is an indoor climbing space that that is really nowhere else in this part of the West Metro area. You have to go to Edina, you have to go up to Maple Grove, you have to go to New Brighton to get this type of indoor climbing facility for children. And this was one of the big items that that our residents really pressured us.
Oh, right.
To
yeah,
include.
I remember there was lots of talk back and forth on what should go in there or not go in there. Or
Yep. So we're very excited.
So then once that's all done, there will be some additional work done outside on the grounds.
That's
so
right.
I thought we better not forget that.
Thank you. No, you're absolutely right. So we have our world famous, I don't know if it's world famous, but it just sounds good, world famous lawn bowling green, and that's going to be shifted over a little bit. We also have, of course, we have an 18-hole golf course. We also have a par 3 golf course. For the most part, the holes are all going to stay the same. They're not going to be shifted around, but we've got some, I'd say some tweaking that's done on some of the holes, a couple of the holes closest to the community center, just shoring up some landscaping to make sure that safety is maintained for anyone who's using the course or who's right there on the grounds at the community center.
So it'll bring a lot of new opportunities, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, we've already got, well, for starters, the Super Bowl is coming. Right. And we already have, we have a number of companies through the Super Bowl host committee that are knocking on our door. Yeah, very exciting. Cool. And we have, you know, a number of people who are requesting weddings or other life cycle events to take place, because part of the facility is going to include a very large banquet facility. And we're finalizing the contracts with some caterers who, it's a great deal, because if you wanted to call this caterer, if you picked up the phone and said, I want to have, you know, if I want to cater with, you know, contract with you, they could say, nope, sorry, we're booked for that day. But if you say that you're going to be at the community center under contract, they have to work with you, no matter what. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, so we're locking them in, and these are top-notch caterers. I can't say who yet, because we're finalizing the contracts. Yeah.
Oh, that'll be an added plus for your facility.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, and plus we've got this new bistro restaurant.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think you have a restaurant coming up.
We do have a restaurant coming. It's going to be called the 316 because that's the official address. Where the new community center address is 316 Brookview Parkway, and so it's called the 316, and it's going to have kind of an upscale pub type of feel from the architectural drawings that I've seen. It's going to look really nice.
So it's all kind of coming together now.
It is coming together, finally.
Yeah, because like, how long ago was it that the whole process started?
At a minimum, 3 years ago.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, I'd even say probably 4 years ago when we really started talking about this, that it was time to, you know, either at some point, had we not done anything, there could have been some potential accidents there. When the building has aged, there's some significant mold issues out there, and then you've got a retaining wall near the one of the golf holes that was starting to give way. So it's, you know, pay for it now or pay for it later in, you know, in a worse way.
So I thought we should talk something about up-and-coming activities in your community. Maybe you can talk a little bit about, you've got concerts in the park, and they have already started on June 5th. They start at 7 p.m. Can you tell us about some of the up-and-coming concerts and where they're going to be, or what park? Is it the same park all the time?
Same park.
Okay.
It's like, you know, the old, what they used to say about Batman, same bat time, same bat channel, all that sort of stuff. It's the same thing. We're at Brookview Park. Okay. And we usually do them, or in the past we'd done them at the large picnic shelter. Okay. But we have a new gazebo not too far from the picnic shelter. So depending on the size of the band or the performance, either it's at the picnic shelter, like the Golden Valley Orchestra was this past week, or it may be at the gazebo, just within, within shouting distance.
Yeah,
and
you'll be able to tell by looking.
You will, exactly. And so it's 7 o'clock every Monday, all the way through mid-August. It's great. I can't remember every single performance, but I know that we've got, for example,
touch on a few.
Yeah, I mean, there's always, and there's different ones for different groups. One of my favorites is it's called Mu Daiku, which is a Japanese drumming band. For some reason, I couldn't make it over the past few years to see them perform, but I finally got to see them last year, and they're cool. That's one of my favorites. And then there's the Golden Valley Orchestra we already had.
Oh, right.
There's usually, let's see, I think the Wiggle Jiggle Jam group for kids. I'd have to look it up to see if they're playing again this year. But there's some regulars that come, but then the one real traditional regular is the John Philip Sousa Band, which plays for our ice cream social. So that's kind of our one special, which I think is, I gotta check here, I think that's usually mid-July, where we do the ice cream social in concert with, pardon the pun, but in concert with the John Philip Sousa Band.
And then you've got an ice cream social that comes up on Monday, July 10th.
That's it, July 10th. Yep. And so that's where we do the John Philip Sousa Band. So that's our Music in the Park day on Monday, 7 o'clock, and that's where you've got free ice cream from Sebastian Joe's. I had to think for a second of my neighbor, who's the owner, and along with his brothers. And so we usually do 4 different flavors. My favorite's usually like the raspberry chocolate.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it is good. And last year we had to do a quick shift because of the weather. We had to shift into the community center, Brookview Community Center. But hopefully we'll, fingers crossed, we'll have good weather this year. And the city council's out there, and the Park and Rec, Open Space and Recreation Commission members are out there, and we're wearing hats or hair nets, and it's fun, and people love it. We usually get 300-400 people to come out. It's a lot of fun.
And then you also have some movies in the park at Brookview. How many do you know? We
do 2. This is something new that we've been experimenting with. And it's more family oriented, but let's see, I'm doing this from memory. You might have the dates.
Oh, I've got some dates. Thursday, October 13th, and
August
13th, and then August 17th.
Right. So the one on the 13th, I think we're doing at Wesley Park. So we try to do one on the west side and one on the east side. And so I think the one on the 13th is at maybe that one may be at Scheid, actually, now that I think about it. And then the one on the 17th is at Wesley. That information's on our website. But I know that the 2 that we're watching, because I've gone to them. My family loves these. Or maybe I just love them.
They're fun.
Yeah, they're fun. But Sing is one movie, and then the other one is, for all those Star Wars fans out there, is Rogue One. So, so I guess maybe one is a little more kid focused, and the other one's maybe for the kid, the kid in us.
Well, I want to thank you so much for sharing your time and your ideas and your experience with our audience out there. We'll encourage you to look We'll encourage you to tune in next week for part 2 of Golden Valley's Issues. We're glad that you've been with us, and hope you'll join us again next week. Bye.